Chris, and today I'm going to be making another trip report type video. I don't know, it's kind of weird because on the psychedelic spectrum, normally when you see stuff about psychedelic spectrum and all that sort of stuff, when you're looking at like a trip, MDMA is sort of like in the middle of like a stimulant and a psychedelic rather than being one or the other, so it's kind of weird to call it a trip, but I would definitely call it a trip for what it was anyway. And when I'm going to be saying this is the first time that I did MDMA or ecstasy, I am actually talking about the first time I did ecstasy in like a pill form. I'm not talking about the first time I did it in a powder form, which was actually my first time ever doing it, but I think that's probably a story I'll have to wait for later on. Also, I'm going to say there were some YouTubers involved, so I'll probably just say the YouTuber friend or whatever, because I don't want to mention names and stuff because they probably wouldn't appreciate it. But right, let's get into this. Basically, this is kind of weird because I've never bought any pills which were like this. Yo, I'm just editing right here. Just quickly forgot to say, I'm pretty sure I forgot to say this in the beginning of the video anyway, I don't do drugs anymore. I don't do recreational drugs anymore. I have a prescription for weed which I got when I was out living in California, and that's all I do at the moment. So anything that I say these days or something like that, I'm talking about like 2 years ago when I used to do this shit. Just what I would say. I was at like a local head shop and a guy just came up to me and was like, yo man, I see you're here buying lots of papers, like, yo, do you want to take my number? And then the guy who obviously runs the head shop was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And was like, get the fuck out of here. And then obviously when we left, you know, the guy was just like, here's my number mate, I got everything. So like later on, when I was in my sort of experimenting phase, this must have been when I was about 15, I got a text from him just being like, yo, got these pills in, 10 for £10 or something like that. And like, that's ridiculous. Like, I'm pretty sure they were really weak pills, probably cut with a bunch of shit. They were definitely MDMA from all of my MDMA experiences that I have had from stuff which I've even tested with kits. It was exactly the same sort of feeling, but they obviously were just really weak. So when I went to go and get this stuff from him, which was really weird, I went to meet up with this guy, this big fucking bulky guy, like, and he gives me the bag and he's like, yeah man, there's 11 in there. And I was like, okay, well he just said I'd get 10 for 10, but I mean, I guess maybe he likes my hair or something, I don't know, maybe he's like, sick man, yeah, have an extra one. So I was like, okay, sick, give him this £10. I'm walking back, I get back, I check what's in there, there's 13 in there, so that's really sketchy, I don't know why I didn't, like, never accept, if you get that ever, throw them away, like, don't take them. Like, I was fucking stupid, I should not have done that. I'm probably guessing they were around 30 milligrams each, maybe 20 milligrams each, like really weak pills. Like, nowadays, when I'd be getting pills from people, they'd be like 250 milligram or something, 200 milligram, but these were just some plain white pills, and it was, but like one of my friends who had done MDMA at the time, who was there, obviously, like, well, you can like lick MD and you can know it's MD really, and like, yeah, so it was definitely, yeah, can't stress that enough, it was real, it was definitely cut with some shit, but I mean, like, it was definitely, yeah. What I remember was we each took one, so there's 4 of us in the group. I'm not going to mention names, but yeah, there were 4 of us in the group, 2 of which were YouTubers, actually. we do these one each, and we wait like an hour, and we're all feeling pretty buzzed, we're feeling like, oh yeah, everything's a little bit wavy, but like not too wavy, it was just sort of like chill, like it was, yeah, and after that, we didn't really think that too much was going on, we'd each taken, it had all been an hour. My friend who had done it in the past was like, oh, it's been an hour, we may as well take an extra one because we should be feeling the effects by now, and I was like, okay. So, we each take an extra one, and bearing in mind, because there's 13, we had the potential of taking 3 each and having 1 left over, so another hour goes by, and at this point, everything for me at least, well, I don't know about them, they were saying they weren't feeling too much, but I was feeling like wavy, like everything was like proper sort of mellow, and like, I don't know, it was almost as if everything, I can't really explain it, it was just, everything was really soft and nice, it was like, yeah, that was, but again, I didn't feel too much, like I was still on probably the same boat as them where I didn't feel too much, it wasn't like, anything that I hadn't had before, because at this point, bearing in mind, I had done other drugs, I just hadn't done MDMA before, so I'd smoked weed, I'd done a couple other things, which I won't say what they are yet, because I'm going to do future trip reports on them, but, so yeah, it wasn't anything that I hadn't felt before, so I was thinking, why not do these, everyone each do these, the last ones, and we each did the last ones, the 3rd one, and I just did the 4th one, like there was one spare, so I did the fourth one, I'm pretty sure, and which is probably a really stupid idea. So so this is where, so at this point we're all sort of inside. Well, we're not inside, but we're like outside, but like occasionally coming into the house and stuff and just wandering around. And it was after the second one, we just decided to go for a long walk. We were going for a walk through the park, and then we take the third one while we're walking, and I take my fourth one obviously while we're walking, and we get to this park. We're chilling at the park, and we're like, you know, all feeling like, you know, everything felt so good. You know, big smiles on everyone's faces and stuff, and we decide, oh yeah, let's go roll a joint. So we walk over to where, actually no, we was like, okay, let's go roll a cigarette, because at the time this is when I smoked rollies and all that. So we go over to these benches that were over the side of the park, and we're there, like, this is like 3 in the morning, by the way, and we're there rolling up, smoking, and then these two guys walk past, and one of them's got like a bike, and they're like, oh yo, are you guys smoking weed? And we're like, no, we're not smoking weed, we don't have any weed. I think we did have weed, but we probably left it inside of the house. But yeah, we were like, oh, we don't have any weed, and they were like, oh, we can smoke some weed with you, and we were like, fuck yeah. So these guys come over and they smoke a joint with us, and so after they finish this joint and we're still, you know, we're fucking bit blazed, and like at this point I remember the colours started changing. So the colours at this point, so I'm all wavy and the colours start changing slowly and stuff, and it was really cool. So yeah, and then we're chilling, we're smoking this joint, and the guy's like, yo, so you guys don't have any weed, yeah? And we're like, yeah, we don't have any weed. He's like, oh, I can hook you guys up, I've got like a ½ ounce at my house, I can come by with a couple grams, and you know, I can give you some weed. And we're like, oh yeah. So we go on this adventure, we're like, okay, we're gonna walk from this park with this guy, while I'm like tripping, you know, I'm fucking all smiley faced and jaw going, and while we're walking, this guy's with his bike, he suddenly tells us that he's been doing coke all night. And obviously if you don't know about coke, I personally don't do coke. I think I've tried coke like twice, and it was not for me. It didn't really, that's another story to tell in the future, but it was not for me. But if you don't know something about coke, because if you're not on other substances at the time and you just do coke, sometimes a lot of people tend to get violent when they start coming down, because the difference between MDMA come down is that you just start to be like really sort of sad and depressed. Like, well, some people get that. I don't tend to get that because I just smoke loads of weed through it and I feel fine. But yeah, I think with coke, like, some people get like proper violent and shit, and like we didn't really care. We weren't thinking that in our heads and stuff. But he was just like, yeah, I've been doing coke all night with the boys, and we're like walking down with this bike, and he does randomly start blurting out and getting a bit funny and stuff, and just going like, oh, what were you looking at just then? You were like staring at me like this, and blah, 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 blah. And it was a bit like, you know, it was a bit like of an odd thing. So we go down and we sit at like the edge of this at the stair set, and he goes into his house, he drops his bike there, and he comes out, he like comes out with a beer, and we're like chatting, and we're just like chatting to him, we're like, oh, well, what happened about like the weed and stuff, and he was like, oh yeah, I'll go in and get that weed in a second, I totally forgot. He like put the bike in and grabbed himself a beer and forgot that, and we're like chatting and stuff, and then he, like, you know, so at this point, you know, we're mainly happy, but then one of the YouTubers I'm with had like cuts on his arms and stuff. And this guy who's on coke, he like suddenly just starts screaming at him like, what the fuck do you think you're doing that to your body? Your parents who think you're worthless and you're a piece of shit, and all of this fucking shit, like literally going absolutely ham at this guy, like, you know, saying he was worthless and all this shit, and like, it was so weird, because I'm at this point, I'm just tripping, and I'm fucking feeling amazing, and I'm like feeling the floor and stuff, and I'm like, oh. And he's just there fucking screaming at this guy. So I'm there, I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I start trying to calm this guy down, along with like the 2 other friends who are there start trying to calm this guy down. And they do it way easier than I do. And we're just there, and I'm like, you know, I'm sketched out at this point. And he goes inside and gets this weed. Well, he goes inside, he's like, oh, I'm gonna get this weed, because he was like proper angry and shit. And I was like, oh yeah, and like, so he goes inside and gives us the weed, which we didn't even think he was gonna do at this point. Like, you know, he comes back out. So, you know, and then he starts having another go. He starts like, you know, after we calm him down, we were chatting again, he starts screaming and stuff. And we sort of like diffused it a little bit, but he was still sort of screaming at us and shit. And we sort of told him, oh, it's like 4 in the morning, we have to go and stuff. And we start walking away, and we like see him walk in behind us and stuff. Like, you know, we see him, like, well, we think we see him. I don't know if we were just tripping, but we think we see him sort of walking behind us. So we start like walking really fast, like, you know, not running so he doesn't run after us, but we were like walking proper fast. And we walked all the way back, like, fucking so far. We walked so far. all the way back thinking this guy was following us the whole time, even though he's probably following us like a couple minutes. And it's sort of, at this point, the whole trip starts coming down and we start coming on the come down and stuff, and we go into separate rooms, and everyone else kind of forgot about the weed, so it's just me and this other person, and we just have this weed, and we just start smoking up, and you know, I just start tripping really hard. I just remember because that was one of the first times I properly smoked while on MD, and I just remember lying down and like seeing loads of patterns all over the ceiling, and everything was so wavy, and it was so weird. It was like unbelievable, and then I somehow managed to fall asleep. A lot of people say they just stay up all night and have to go through the day, and like I guess I just slept through my come down, so who knows. But yeah, if you ever do MDMA, don't do what I did. Don't take sketchy pills like that shit. Don't fucking walk away with some random guy who says they're gonna get you some weed when they're on coke. That's fucking bad, don't do that. But I think apart from that, I think I'm good. I think that's the end of the video. I think if you want to give me a like and give me a comment and give me a subscribe, that would be sick. If you want to share this video around, that would also be sweet. If you want to comment your personal MDMA experience, maybe your first experience or maybe your craziest experience, that would be pretty sick. I've got a couple more of these videos to come in the future, so if you like these, subscribe. I also make rant videos on this channel. Rant videos are my main videos. It will either be a rant video on drama shit, my drama shit, like personal stuff to do with me, or like a rant video which is like a story, or anything really. So I mean, you know, that's my deal. I personally would sort of almost call this a rant because I'm running about the time that I did MDMA. So yeah, that's what I do on this channel. If you like that shit, hit that subscribe button. Before I go, there are new wristbands on the site. Well, they're the same wristbands, but a whole new batch of DrewIsSharing wristbands which are available, and the link will be in the description. So if you want to get those, you can grab them, and they should be delivered to you within a couple days, or possibly within 2 days of it being marked shipped in your emails. So that would be pretty damn sick. Got a new system for it. Have people doing it for me, so I don't have to. I obviously do stuff, but I don't have to do all of it, so it's easier. Alright, I will catch you in a bit. Peace out.